Booyah! So a subscriber named Jurgio wants me to talk about my opinion on the current state of MVM, and I gladly will do that because I have always loved MVM. MVM is a really fun game mode that forces players to actually work together for once. Yes, normal TF2 does enforce that, but there is a way, especially in pubs, of carrying. In competitive it's very difficult to carry, but it's very easy in pubs to carry. All you gotta do is just shoot a bunch of people and then cap a point. It's very easy. It's not as easy to take up MVM by yourself. You need a capable team to play with, which is why I love MVM and I love playing it in a casual scene so much. However, in my opinion, the current scene for MVM is absolutely screwed. It's up shit creek without a paddle right now. For one main reason, well, a few main reasons, but the first main reason I can say is that it's far too repetitive. It's basically a massive grind to get through as many waves as possible without one, dying, or two, getting bored in the first place. I find MVM can become very boring if you repeatedly play the same maps over and over again to get the same prizes. It's not really worth the money you're paying in the first place to get that. I never found it worth your time or money just to get an Australium maybe every 20 or 30 tours. Let's be honest, the main reason people these days who play MVM regularly and understand it and play it to the level they do with like 100+ tours, the main reason they do that is for Australiums. They want the bragging rights of having an Australium on one of their favourite guns. Because it is really cool. It is really cool to have an Australian weapon. But the thing is, that is not enough of an incentive to keep people playing and paying all the time. Because I personally stopped playing MVM as soon as my friends stopped playing MVM because it wasn't as fun. Because it just felt like constant grinding like an MMO. Just get a weapon that I didn't even need anymore, especially since skins are a thing now. Skins look great. Some of the newer skins, especially in the new update, look really cool. And for that reason, Australiums are even less needed, because if you want something cool for your weapon, you can just get a nice skin for your weapon. You actually don't need an Australium that badly. That being said, it makes the Australiums even less of an incentive to keep playing. With the Australium grinders gone, i.e. the ones who play hundreds of tours just to get cool Australiums, with those guys gone, all that leaves are the people who buy the tours to start off. Because there's no middle ground with MVM, I find. There's no people who are just playing for 20 or 30 tours. It's either they've been grinding for a solid year to get as many Australiums as possible, or they've never played the game before and they want to get started. Otherwise, there's no real reason to get into it. For that reason, because so many Australium hunters are gone these days, because firstly, the price of Australiums, I wouldn't say the price, more so the want for Australiums has gone down quite a bit since skins became popular. So as a result, good MVM players no longer really play MVM as much anymore, leaving just the really shitty players. Now, I have nothing against bad players, but when you play with 5 bad players, it is the most unpleasant experience ever in MVM. MVM is awful if you 5 players who don't know the protocols to best go and do expert rounds. I don't mind playing with some guys who want to play like 3 pyros in a normal or intermediate map, but if in my situation where I play expert maps a lot to get the Australiums, you meet a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, and you need to know what you're doing in the expert maps because those maps can be brutal if you're not careful. This is why I was not able to get good footage of MVM. I actually would have, but I tried a few games and I tried to get into it, but it just wasn't worth it. There was so many bad players who just made the experience like torture to try and get footage for this. That's why I didn't use any MVM footage for this. That is the honest to God reason. The best time for MVM was back when the grinders were at their peak, and you found grinders, at least 1 or 2 grinders per team all of the time. I call them grinders. They're just people who constantly play tour after tour of the same maps and know the timings for everything, and they're great leaders because they can tell everyone what to do exactly, and it will always lead to a perfect round. Those guys are pretty much gone, leaving the people who are starting off flowing into the game and not really understanding what they're doing, and it's just making MVM a very unpleasant experience at the moment. Who knows, maybe a new generation of people who be grinding round after round might come in, but for now, MVM is an incredibly unpleasant experience to play, especially when you're paying for it. It just feels like you're being spit in the face after you're kicking the nuts while you're paying for it. Anyway, those are my reasons for disliking MVM at the moment, mostly because it's too repetitive to actually be fun, and it's too much torture to be grinding it for Australians. So for me, there's no real place for it for intermediate or good players of MVM. For that reason, I think it's a very unenjoyable experience for anybody who doesn't like losing all of the time. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you disagree with me, please tell me in the comments. This is my opinion, of course. You can all have completely different opinions, but this is my opinion. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Have a nice day.